Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Journey Success Stories podcast. I'm Jennifer Sheffel, your host, and today I am with JT Harp. He is the president and CEO for Transworld. Welcome, JT.
Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate you having me. Looking forward to it.
Yes, this is going to be so much fun. You guys, I cannot believe that JT's here today. He's got a great story to share with all of you in regards to his journey to business ownership. But of course, if this is your first time to the show, make sure that you like and subscribe so you can get additional notifications like this one whenever we have a new conversation drop. So, JT, of course, welcome to the show and thank you for being here today. I would love for you to tell everybody who you are, a little bit about you, and even more so about Transworld.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Jennifer. And thanks again for having me. As Jennifer mentioned, I'm JT Harp. I'm the president and CEO here in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky of Transworld Business Advisors. We are the world's largest business brokerage firm, and we help small to medium-sized business owners confidentially sell, value, or franchise their small businesses. We can do larger deals, but our niche is in the small to medium-sized business space. So we are here to help any small business owner of any size, in any industry, in any situation, confidentially sell or potentially franchise their business. I was in the corporate world for just over 30 years. Started out with the Kroger company in high school and worked my way through high school and college at The Ohio State University. Stayed with Kroger after graduating from The Ohio State and went into management and proceeded to climb the corporate ladder, if you will, for the next several years, including various senior leadership roles throughout the country. In fact, my family and I moved a total of 9 times for different senior leadership roles in the corporate world. After close to 30 years at Kroger, left Kroger for another retailer out in the Pacific Northwest as chief operating officer. Stayed out there for about a year or so, and then just decided my corporate career was over and decided to eventually get into business for myself. And here we are.
So, JT, along the way, you guys have had a couple of different businesses. So, this isn't your first rodeo. Please share with everyone a little bit more about that entrepreneurial spirit that kept bubbling up inside you.
Yeah, sure. So my first rodeo was about 7, 8 years ago. My wife and I opened up a couple small businesses in Columbus, Ohio, while I was at Kroger, and while we were, of course, raising a family. We have 4 boys, and it went pretty well. But then the pandemic hit, and the world changed for all of us. And we were not in Columbus, Ohio at the time, and we just decided to, at that point, simplify some things and exit those businesses. And Transworld Business Advisors actually helped us with that exit, and that's how I got engaged with the Transworld brand and the Transworld team. So fast forward about 3 or 4 years later, decide to go ahead and officially end my corporate career. And so at that point, I reached out to Transworld and I said, I'm thinking about leaving corporate full time. Still have that entrepreneurial itch. Thinking about buying my own business, right? And so Transworld was like, yeah, let's do it. Happy to help you. We've got thousands of businesses nationwide, in fact, worldwide, that we can offer you. So we can certainly help you in that process. Or they said, Transworld's looking for really good people too. So one thing led to another, and got to know the Transworld culture and the leadership group and several of the other owners throughout the network, and just felt like it was a really good fit. So after moving now 10 times across the country, we wanted to get back here to Southern Ohio. I'm a Southern Ohio kid, grew up in South Central Ohio. My parents still live in South Central Ohio. My in-laws at the time lived in Columbus. Now they live down here in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. And we wanted to get back home, and we wanted to raise our family close to other family and really establish some roots back here in the Midwest, where both my wife and I are from. So we decided to join the Transworld team as owners. And so we are now a part of that great network, a part of this great brand. and we are back in Southern Ohio, not only to get back to Southern Ohio, but to give back in a lot of ways, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Yes, absolutely. Because community is what it's all about as small to medium sized businesses. That tends to be what our drive really becomes. But I want to hear a little bit more about what is it like a day in the business of Transworld, dealing with all these different business owners and businesses and maybe inflated egos or other things. Like, tell me a little bit about like what is it like walking in your shoes?
Sure. So just to kind of set the stage a little bit, so we are business brokers. We help, as I mentioned earlier, small or medium-sized business owners confidentially sell. So the businesses that we place on the market, that's our inventory. And then from there, we recruit buyers to those opportunities. And then we serve as a true intermediary, typically between both sides to negotiate the deal, facilitate the whole entire process and deal flow, and then ultimately get that transaction done. So I wanted to set the stage there because a day in the life is really, really unique in that there is no one day that's the same.
Right.
Every deal is different. Typically, every listing we currently have or have at any point is unique from another. And so, whether it's working with our sellers, working with our buyers, working with
Mhm.
our lenders, working with our attorney partners, our CPAs, our bookkeepers, other brokers, perhaps, other real estate brokers and other real estate agents, perhaps. Any of those folks involved in our deal flow, we have to manage that. So we are coming up on football season. As you and I were kind of talking about earlier, the days and the mornings are starting to feel a little chillier, which is great. And so, with that in mind, we are the quarterback, right? And we are the ones that kind of take control of the deal flow to ensure that not only both parties are taken care of throughout that deal flow process, but that both parties, when they get to the closing table, leave that transaction happy. So, that process can be lengthy. The average small to medium sized business in the United States takes 9 months to sell from when we list it to when we close it.
It's
At
actually
Transworld,
fast.
yeah, 9 months is it can be a process. At Transworld, our average is typically around 7 months, and with our
Mm,
office here in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, we're actually less than that. So, but still, 6 months, if you want to call it that, is a lengthy process, and so there's a lot of work involved. There's a lot of things that can happen within the deal flow process that you kind of have to dodge and weave and avoid, kind of like you're a quarterback, if you will, with that pass rush coming at you. And yeah, every deal's different, every day's different, and we love it. I love what I do.
that is awesome. I'm very impressed. 7 months isn't that long because a lot of times it can take a whole lot longer. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure the buyer and the seller, they're like, can this be 2 months?
That's right.
Because it can be exhausting just going through the process because you got to fill out the LOI and then you have to do your due diligence and all the other things that are part of the process. So, have you ever had a buyer want a particular price per se for their business or their baby, and you're like, there's just no way. You're up here, and really it's coming in here as far as your evaluation. Like, what does that piece kind of look like for you guys?
Yeah, that is one of our bigger challenges is, educating our sellers not only on the process and how we go to market, but really on how that whole valuation works. So, sure, first of all, we love our business owners. Small to medium sized business owners are the heartbeat of this country, salt of the
Absolutely.
earth people, and we want what's best for them. Which, in most cases, the devil's always in the details. But to summarize, in most cases, that's both one of maximizing their financial exit, right, and then two, finding a buyer that's going to take care of their business like they have been, for the past 5 to 10 to sometimes 30 or 40 years, right?
Yeah.
And so both are important. And so as we start our process, again, educating our sellers on how we go to market and what the next 6 to maybe 12 to 15 months might look like, uh, it's emotional and they're scared to death and
Yes.
they're concerned. Um, there's some, family things typically involved, and they're turning the page to the next chapter of life, which involves to some degree changing their identity, changing their day to day, changing who they are, and all of that wrapped up into I want $1 million for my business, right? Because I've put my blood, my sweat, my tears, my emotions, some family members, they put it all out there and into that business opportunity. And now that it's time to exit for whatever reason, they want full value, as they should.
Right.
Um, we always tell our owners that, unfortunately, I don't get to decide what their business sells for, and neither do they. The market will dictate that. And
Yeah.
so, yes, there are some technical ways to apply some estimated valuation to your business, which we do. There's the market valuation, very very high level. Just very quickly, there's the market valuation, which we have a really nice rich database within the Transworld network where we can look at comparables. That can get a little tricky because most small medium sized business transactions aren't reported, and those that are, every deal's different. And
Yeah.
on paper, you can kind of see a little bit of the dynamics for said sale or transaction, whether it be 3 months or 3 years ago, but you really don't know some of the details within. We can still look at that though. So that's the market analysis. The second part of our valuation process is just, quite frankly, looking at the assets of the business, both tangible and intangible. Looking to see what's on the books, looking to see what the tangible assets might be worth, goodwill, if you will, and then kind of adding that up to get a total. And then the third most common way is the multiple method, which is a multiple of your seller discretionary earnings. And so we talk to our sellers, educate them on all of those best practices and those valuation factors. And we come up with a range or an estimate, if you will. That being said, there are no guarantees and there's no way to predict. So at the end of the day, we tell our sellers, look, we work for you. If you want us to go to market at a certain price point, we are happy to do that. And the market will pretty quickly tell us if we are in the ballpark or not, right? If the phone rings and there's a lot of interest, we're probably onto something and we're probably priced pretty accurately. Doesn't mean the buyers won't come and negotiate, as they probably should. But if the phone's ringing and we're getting a lot of interest and activity, then we're probably priced pretty appropriately. If the phone doesn't ring and or it does and we get negative feedback right away, then that's a signal then that we should probably start lowering that listing price. So at the end of the day, yes, we counsel our business owners on what they could potentially get. But at the end of the day, we work for them, and we go to market at a valuation they're comfortable with. And then we let the market kind of go take us from there, if you will.
I love this process, but I would because I'm a recovering accountant. So this whole process to me sings to my soul. But if we do get some negative feedback from the market, as you were just indicating, what other things have you guys maybe done instead of just, okay, we got to lower the price? Are there any other things that you guys have done? Like, I guess, help us a little bit on that piece.
Sure. So if we're not happy with the feedback, and ultimately if our owners aren't happy with their potential valuation, then there are some things we can do to help them perhaps elevate the valuation. Number one is plug them in with a really good business coach to help them. Yes, exactly, Jennifer. Plug them in with a really good business coach to potentially help them find some ways to increase sales, become more operationally efficient. And
Yes.
perhaps most importantly for the small to medium sized business owner, find ways to help that small business owner unplug from the day to day and separate themselves from the operational aspects of the business, which, to some people might surprisingly um, be a factor towards elevating that valuation quite a bit and very quickly. The reason that's the case is because not all, but a lot of our buyers tend to look for opportunities that are either semi absentee or absentee.
Mm,
In other
yeah.
words, our buyers will pay a premium for a small or medium sized business that they don't have to literally be in day to day, 40 to 50 to maybe 60 or 70 hours a week to see that business run really smoothly. Now, we do have a lot of buyers that are looking to buy that job. And quite frankly, currently and typically always, we have a lot of great listings that could be in the low to mid six-figure range in seller discretionary earnings for the owners working in the business at 40, 50 hours a week. That's a really solid job. You're your
Yeah.
boss. You're making a nice salary. It's fairly turnkey. You've got a brand. It's a plug and play. And if you want to, let's say, fire your current boss and be your own boss, those
Yes.
opportunities are great, right? But you're probably not going to get a super nice valuation or multiple for that opportunity because you're looking for, or you're marketing to a very select group of buyers where that's okay. They're looking for that 40 to 50 to 60-hour a week job and they're good with that. A lot of our buyers aren't looking for that, right? So if you're that owner that's working at 40, 50 or more hours per week and you want to help your overall business valuation, you want to separate yourself from the day to day, maybe go down to 30 hours a week and then 25 and then 20. Yes, you may have to hire. Yes, you may have to capture some efficiencies through digitalization, maybe delegate more than you are now, right? Kind of look yourself in the mirror and decide that, you know what, I need to give some things up. And that's where a business coach can come in and help. That's where, at a high level, perhaps we can give them some pointers. But again, those things take some time. So as we talk to business owners and they're not quite happy or perhaps ready to go to market, that's okay. Now they know who we are. Now they know what we can do for them when we go to market. We can keep it confidential when they're ready. And in the meantime, they can take some of these steps we're discussing now towards perhaps increasing their valuation and getting to that exit point financially that they're happy with, whether that be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months down the road, et cetera. There are a lot of things those business owners can do to help themselves.
Yes. And I'm working with a couple businesses currently on that succession plan where they've already identified the who is going to be taking over the business, but they have to graduate the baby first. So,
Right.
and it can be super emotional because you've maybe had this business for 30 years. So you've really seen it morph and grow and go through different recessions and now a pandemic and all sorts of really fun stuff. So there's a lot of emotion that's attached to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So thank you for doing what you do because really holding the hand of others to get to that next point and perhaps the best promotion of life, of retirement and getting to enjoy that is so important. So, question for you. Where do you see your business 5 years from now? So, like you've arrived 5 years from today. What does the business look like? Like, how many employees? What do you guys look
So we are a team of 8 currently. Over the last couple of years, we've transacted, I think we're at 43 transactions already in about a year and a half or so.
Yeah.
Uh, my long-term plan, we'll call it long-term, 5 years from now, uh, probably a team of 15 or 16 transacting, anywhere between 30 and 40 deals a year, something like that, carrying an inventory of 100 or so listings ongoing, if you will, with some natural churn in there between fresh inventory and inventory that we've sold off and transacted. And look, I mean, there's about 150 some thousand small businesses in greater Cincinnati, northern Kentucky. A lot of them are baby boomers. The rest are Gen Xers. There's some, millennials, et cetera, as you go down the tail of the graph or of the chart. But the majority are at some point going to be ready to exit, in the next, we'll call it 1 to 3 to 5 to 10 years. We want to be there for them. We want to be here for them when they're ready. And a lot of business owners don't even know business brokers exist. They want to keep it or need to keep it confidential.
Right.
There's a lot of emotions, as we've discussed. And let's face it, this is a really big deal. It's a life event. We talked about the identity crisis and the change of, season, if you will, in life. And on top of all that, from a financial standpoint, a lot of business owners don't have the traditional 401k. They don't have the old school traditional pension, right? Most have some equity in their home. Most have created a nice life for themselves. They're doing really well. But in most cases, selling this business is their retirement.
Yes.
And at Transworld Business Advisors, look, we take that very seriously. These folks need something to live off of when they retire. Or, if you're not quite in that season of life yet, perhaps they need something to not only live off of short term, but maybe something to invest in down the road in the next business venture, medium to long term.
Yep.
And so, how do you maximize this liquidity event, which it really is? Well,
Absolutely.
you have to go to market with the best and the biggest. And so, we'd like to think, and we say that you're getting the best of both worlds with Transworld, right? You're going to market and we're casting a net that's worldwide. We've got over 625,000 active buyers right now in our buyer pool looking for great businesses to buy. We don't have enough businesses to offer them. So when you're ready and you want to maximize your financial exit and find a great buyer that's a great fit, that's going to take care of your employees, going to take care of your clients, going to continue to partner well with your suppliers, going to continue to partner well with the community that you currently operate in. The best way to find all of that is by casting the widest net and going to market, right? And we can do that. And on top of all that, we're local. We are right here in Cincinnati. So you're not on video calls with somebody in Chicago or Miami or New York or Dubai or LA. You're going to meet us face to face. We're right here in your community, and we're going to build trust, a relationship. You can call us, text us, email us whenever you want. If you want to meet in person, we're happy to do that. We are here to support the local small to medium-sized business owner that needs our help. And so at a high level, that's why we're doing it. That's our foundation. And the larger we can build our team, the more people we get to help.
Absolutely.
All right. So to your question, in 5 years, I hope to, have a brand and have a team and really have a level of trust and a level of reputation that, if you're a small to medium-sized business owner that either needs or wants to sell in greater Cincinnati, northern Kentucky, you'd be foolish to not contact us, because we're going to do our very best to accomplish your goals and get you to that next chapter.
Yeah. I have no doubt that you're going to not be successful in this. You're going to be shooting for the moon and wind up on the sun because you have so much passion for achieving this. And it's not about you or Transworld. It's more about our community in the region and how much you care. So that's why I was like, there's no doubt in my mind that this 5-year plan, it's going to be beyond successful. That being said, what might be one thing or challenge, obstacle that you're going to have to overcome in order to be that new JT owning Transworld and doing all these awesome things for our region?
I'd say the biggest challenge right now is just awareness, right? It's a small city, but geographically, we're pretty diverse, right? And so it's just building awareness that number one, business brokers exist. Number two, there is someone here local that can help you and that you can trust. And then on top of all that, just helping educate small business owners on what the process is, and then really helping them understand that there can and should be an exit plan.
Yes.
Our worst fear and the headlines I hate reading the most are when a business unfortunately closes.
Oh,
That should in my world, and when I say my world, I'm talking about now looking forward within the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky region. That should never happen because
yeah.
we are here to help. And chances are, regardless of your industry, regardless of your size, regardless of your situation,
Mhm.
there is someone out there potentially that we could find to help you get something out of that business versus just
Yes.
closing it. And,
Yes.
whether it's a headline I read in the Courier or in the Inquirer, or whether I see something online, or honestly, whether I'm walking down the street or driving through a neighborhood or a plaza and I see an empty storefront, that just, it breaks my heart because, you know, that was someone's dream. That was someone's life. That was someone's perhaps career. And for whatever reason, it's shuttered, it's closed. And, shame on me and us for not getting to them sooner, And so,
Yes.
to answer your question, it's just my biggest concern is honestly not growing quick enough because right now there's someone out there that needs us.
Very
And
much so.
maybe I'm not, in front of them like I need to be or should be. So we're growing intentionally. We've got an amazing team and we're here to help. And the more we can get the awareness and the word out that when you're ready, we're here for you, then I'd like to think the better off our whole region, our whole community is going to be. Because if we can support a dream on both sides of the table, meaning, find a great exit for our seller and get our buyer into something that
Great.
maybe they've always wanted to do,
Yes.
then that's what it's all about, right? And then that storefront's not empty. And our communities continue to thrive. And we've gotten an owner to retirement or to the next chapter. And we've gotten a buyer perhaps out of corporate and into their dream role of owning their own thing. I mean, that's really what this is all about. And so, I think we're growing intentionally, we're growing the right way, but the more efficient and the faster we can do all that, then the more people we can help.
Yes. I'll never forget when I was going through my certification and induction training into action coach. And the number one thing that I walked away with is for every business that fails, we should take it personal.
Mm.
And I do. It is gut wrenching to me. Same thing when I see business closed for rent, for lease, or anything like that, because it was a dream and it was somebody's baby. I know I keep using this, but it is true
True.
that
It's true.
they just didn't. There were just so many things. And so I have actually gotten emotional about a couple of them that have closed in our region because I was like, man, if only I was in front of them faster.
Right.
So I
Same.
love that. And I totally cherish it. So thank you for sharing.
Absolutely.
So I do want to ask, because you alluded to this before we run out of time, because I could talk to you, I think, all day long. Um, what has the business allowed you to do that maybe you didn't do before because you were a part of corporate?
Well, I'll tell you, I love my corporate career. Um,
Mm.
I'd like to think I was really good at it. I was passionate about it. Amazing coworkers, built a lot of amazing friendships from my time at both companies. I wouldn't change anything.
Not at all.
Um, but now I'm able to manage my time for me and my family to a higher level.
Hmm.
I'm able to perhaps be more involved in my community versus perhaps what I was before.
Yes.
Um, I see my kids leave for school every day. Um, I'm able to get them to and from practice as needed. I didn't miss a whole lot of games before, but I'm missing 0 games now. And, my calendar is now mine. And I'm able to, have conversations like this, on a beautiful Friday afternoon, versus perhaps, being, in a meeting or on the road or, somewhere else, I'll just say, right? And so it's enabled me to build my own brand and build a team and grow intentionally at a pace that matters with my own personal vision and my own personal strategy and my own personal dream in a way that corporate kind of sort of was able to fulfill me
Yeah.
with, but not quite to the level I needed. And so I'm just so thankful that over the past few years throughout this transition from corporate into business ownership, that I've had amazing support at home with my immediate family, my extended family, and really entered into my next phase of life in a way that is so fulfilling, so fun, so challenging, but yet in a way that inspires me every day to just jump out of bed and do the things I want to do when I need or want to do them, because I know I'm doing right by me and right by others. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's, I guess, my
It
best answer
does.
at the moment.
No, very much so. Because giving back to the community, and we've talked about it a lot, is clearly a passion of yours, but getting to choose it also on your own terms is a whole nother level. And it's something that I don't know about you, but I wasn't seeking at the time becoming a business owner. It was more the flexibility and family and all the other things. But it's been such a reward to have. And before you even have a new piece that you're doing with being a ref.
Yes. So another way that I'm giving back to the community is I am a licensed soccer referee through the United States Soccer Federation and through the Ohio State OHSAA, the high school program. And so, yes, I've really enjoyed giving back to the community through sports. Previously, I was able to some degree, coach my little kids in soccer and basketball when they were little, but they've now outgrown my coaching abilities to a large degree. And the way my schedule works now, as we've talked about a little bit, being able to referee soccer and kind of pick my spots depending on what's going on versus in coaching, kind of committing to an entire season and a
Yeah.
practice schedule and a game schedule and all the prep and strategy that goes into that. It has the refereeing part has enabled me to fill a need in the community because we need more good referees. Work it into my schedule and still be a part of the game that I love. So yes, I love it. Uh, in a lot of the same ways, I love what I do with Transworld and what we do with our small business owners and buyers because
Yeah.
uh, it's fun, it's challenging, it's giving back. It just checks a lot of boxes and keeps me fulfilled and keeps me well rounded and keeps me engaged in a sport that I love. And it's also involving kids, and I
Yes.
love being around my kids, and I love being around other kids, and I love the sport, and so yes, it checks a lot of boxes for me. So that's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I find it fascinating that owning a business isn't enough. Let's go ahead and ref some soccer games too. So,
Yes, yes, and among family and my kids' schedules, and
right.
my spouse Kendi, and neighbors and friends and extended family, and so hey, we're all about it. I'm trying to get everything I can out of this life, right? And
Yeah.
so we're in this, you and I think are in kind of the same sort of season in life, is where our kids are still at home, and they're we just started back to school here in our region, and there's no better time to be alive, right? And so why not enjoy it and take advantage of every single opportunity out there to really enjoy this phase of life. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yes. Yes. All right. So we are very quickly running out of time. So let's do some rapid fire questions. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
You look super enthused. All right.
I'm really
What is
enthused. Let's do it.
what is the key to success for you? Oh, well said. Yes. Okay. What is your one piece of advice for other business owners?
You're not in it alone. There are people and folks that can help you. So if you're struggling, reach out. There are resources. There are support companies, support methods. But we all struggle at times. You're not in it alone. Don't suffer on your own. Reach out for help. There's folks like us that can help you.
Yes. Very, very good. All right. What is a book or podcast you're reading or listening to right now?
Yeah, so I'm crazy about my podcasts. I listen to a lot of sports podcasts, as you might imagine. We're getting into football season here, so that's been fun. Books, I recommend The 100-Year Life.
Mm.
I've read it twice. It was recommended to me a couple of years ago. Just at a high level synopsis, if you think about the phases of life, which we've talked about throughout the
Mhm.
call, you typically have kind of your student phase, then your career phase, and then your retirement phase. That's over. We're living longer now, and we are evolving as a species, if you will. And here in this country, I think we're evolving as far as how we go to work and how we think about work and how we think about work-life balance. And so that's probably a whole nother podcast that I'm happy to get into with you or whoever. But you really need to look at it in 5 stages now, to where you've kind of got your student phase, your early career phase, maybe your transition late career phase, and then perhaps like you and I have done, maybe perhaps business ownership phase. There's not one right way to do it, but for those of us that are interested, the old way is done, and there's a new way to perhaps think about your life. And the 100-Year Life is a book I would recommend if you're interested. You check out.
Awesome. I don't know what a student phase is because I'm always still learning all the
Fair
time.
enough. We'll call it the official student phase. We'll call it 0 to 20 or 22, maybe 25, just
All
depending.
right, that's fair. That's fair. That was my
Yes.
learning accounting and then getting out in the real world and realizing I really don't know anything, but I have a great piece of paper that cost a lot.
Yeah. Well, we all have different paths. So I guess the overall point is we can do it however we want. We don't have to just uh, put ourselves in the box of a 40 to 45-year career. We can do it differently. Right. So,
Yes, yes. All right, so this one is a fun question. If you could sprinkle a little bit of magic dust on a particular part of the business, what would it be?
geez, magic dust on a part of the business. Um, you know, kind of already answered it this way. I'll repeat it though. If I could sprinkle a little pixie dust across the entire Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky region, I would just be in the form of a little flyer that said, if and when you are ready to sell, or if you're thinking about selling in the next couple of years, please contact Transworld. We can help you.
Oh my gosh, you knew what the next thing I was going to say was.
Oh,
Before we get to the final question, share with our audience how they can get in touch with you.
yeah, no problem. No problem. So you can look us up online, Transworld Business Advisors of Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. If you just Google or chat GPT Transworld and you're in the greater Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky region, I'm sure we will pop up at the top of your list. Our phone number is 513-725-7283. You are happy to call us anytime. As long as you are within business hours, you will talk to a live human being as soon as you call, which is really, really cool and really, really unique in this day and age. So I encourage you to call us. My personal email is jharp@tworld.com. We have a YouTube channel. We are on social media, mainly on LinkedIn, X, and Google and Facebook. So you can look us up there. And we also have a deal board podcast. I am on there occasionally, but our corporate office puts that on. So you can look that up on Spotify. And I am in and around the region quite a bit. So chances are, if you are at a networking event, you are going to see myself or one of our team members. If you see the Transworld logo, please reach out, come up and shake our hand. We would love to chat with you. So a lot of different ways to engage with Transworld, and I hope our listeners reach out. We would love to chat.
Awesome. This is such a great time and a wonderful conversation. Thank you, JT.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun, and let's do it again sometime soon.
Absolutely. So I really enjoyed JT's story and getting to know him even more. So I'm sure you guys, of course, enjoyed him too. How could you not? So I encourage you to, of course, save this episode, come back, watch it again and again, because JT really did have some great business insights, and you're going to want to refer him to those mom and pop businesses that you know are ready for that next piece in their life. So, of course, don't forget like and subscribe, because you want to get notification each and every time that we have a new conversation drop just like this one. And thanks to everyone who joined us today, and a special thanks again to JT Harp. Again, he's the president and CEO of Transworld Business Advisors here in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky region. And again, thank you. We really appreciate you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks again.